really important that we begin to change the mindset of young people to know that your vote counts.
They don't understand that the legislative arm of government is actually a co-equal arm of government.
We have an incredible amount of potential.
Whatever it is I was doing, because of my personal DNA, it had to be of an international standard, which is what, seriously speaking, is all about.
Well, hello there. Some time ago on this show, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, 2014 to be precise, we had brought somebody who had gotten as far as Libya before he turned around and said, what is he running away from Nigeria for? And he came back. But in recent times, in the past few months, we've now started to see tons of Nigerians who are coming out. After the 26 girls died in the ocean, were they Nigerians? Government went back and forth, and usually they're Nigerians, and no, but we do know that from this country, many people run away, what in my time we call checking out, Andrew, the checking out syndrome. Now, what makes people want to leave? Somebody tells me they're looking for hope. On the show today, I have two people who their stories are stories that teach you there's hope, even in terrible circumstances. And then, of course, I have a psychologist who's going to join us on set today to help us to unravel what is it about our minds that make us make the choices of looking at our glasses as half empty rather than half full. We're back on Seriously Speaking. Welcome back. My two guests that are coming here first are meeting each other for the first time on this set. But your stories are very similar. Not because both of you are yellow popo. But they are similar. Kola and Mercy. Kola has written a book, and this is what the book is called. It's Through It All. I asked Mercy, when are you going to write your book? Now, you see, Kola's story, because Kola was on our set a couple of years ago because a security expert, and then again a couple of weeks ago because I was doing the Christmas party for people who are living with disability. Kola is 52 and he's lived with a limp out of polio. We call you one-legged man for 52 years, but he's a big man. You can. Well, 50 years, you walked small, you walked, that's true. You walked for 2 years, so you experienced it a little bit. I mean, I found that in the book. I didn't know that before. And then Mercy, well, Mercy was married off as a teenager in school by her father. This day and age, Mercy is a small girl. I won't tell you her age, but this day and age, okay, suffice to say in the 80s she was in secondary school. So she was married off to a man who was horrid to her for years. Now, but Mercy, in the past 1 year, she has spent her life trying to encourage women to get out of domestic violence. And it's extending it. If at Christmas time you fed people in Ajegunle, so you're extending your largesse beyond that. Now, I will let them tell us each their stories. I'll start with Kola, because when I read this book, there were moments I cried. I mean, it was goosebump. And one of them, I was going to read it, but I'm going to stick away from reading it. The experience you had at 10 when you were running with your brothers, and then you fell, and the masquerade was going to catch you, and then you felt like, take it from there, Kola.
All right, thanks, Adesuwa. That time we went to our village. Of course, we grew up in Lagos, so we go to our village in Osun State only once in the year. So that particular year, the Christmas festivity for that year coincided with the masquerade festival in the village. To Lagos boy, it wasn't anything. At least we've always been going for Christmas. So that particular day, we all decided to hit town, so to say.
You were dragging one leg.
Of course, I walk now. I walk anyhow. And of course, so it was more of cousins, friends, and I think one or two of my siblings that were old enough then. So we all decided to go visiting uncles, aunties in the village. And when we got almost to the market square of the village, we heard the drums coming from nowhere. And immediately the drumming started, we saw people running. And of course, my cousins that reside in the village knew the implication, so they were already on their heels also. And I said, so what's happening? They said, that masquerade should not meet anybody on the road.
So you couldn't run as fast as they
So I
could.
discovered that everyone that we left my family compound together, everybody just took to their heels, and then I wanted to run after them. Then I discovered there was a difference. I could only hop on the right leg. Of course, the left leg, I can't do anything with it. Then I started crying and screaming and calling to all of them, please wait for me, and nobody actually waited. Everybody just, every man for himself was the situation that day. And right there and then, even though I was young, there are a lot of things were going on in my mind. I had never seen it anywhere, but I just told myself, so this is how people will always disappoint you when you need them most. So this is how people will always take off when you think you want to rely on them. And that day I just told myself I would never rely on anybody in life.
But you did rely on somebody. You relied
Of course,
because you relied on
on
divine.
people.
Because at the end of the day, you know why? I mean, let me just go through some of the things I went in your book. As a kid, they used to back you to get you through a lot of... In fact, they went to juju side. But you became a Christian. But life still wasn't rosy for you.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't rosy for you.
Wasn't.
You lost jobs. You chased your wife for 3 years, maybe 4 years. No, 10 years.
It's actually 4 years.
4 years, you know.
It took her 4 years to say yes.
Uh-huh.
Every year I keep going back and...
So what was it that
always
kept
no.
you going? Because you wrote this book and say it's to encourage others.
Yes. Well, like I wrote in the book, 1984, that was when I got to university, I got born again. And somehow, I think I could be led by God. So when it got to the time that I needed to choose a life partner, I knew it was not going to be easy. I knew nobody would want to go for somebody with disability, not because they don't like you, not because there's no relationship, but then they would need to consider a lot of things. What would people say?
So what you're saying is what kept you going was your faith.
What kept me going was the fact that I prayed and I felt that God was leading me to go for towing.
Okay, this is talk about the wife now. The rest of the story is in the book. I want to take a quick one with Mercy. A young girl, barely 17, they married you off. Why didn't you tell your father no?
In all honesty, I didn't say no, I didn't resist because I think I was so naive beyond being young. And of course, then 18 now is not 18 in the 90s. So it was whatever daddy says. But I remember I kept insisting on one thing, that I need to go to school, that I wanted to go to school. My dad was like, no, not a problem. You're going to go to school. He's going to even send you to a better school. You don't have to school in Akwa Ibom. You'll come to Unilag. And then, for us, Unilag was the Ivy League school in Nigeria. So I was happy to be in Unilag. So I would say that was part of the selling points for me. That,
Do you think your father sold you off?
At that point, maybe I wouldn't think he was selling me off, but maybe much later, in hindsight, I would say yes, that was like almost selling off.
Because he collected money from your husband?
Yeah, he was given bride price and all the things.
Bride prices, how much is bride price?
I think it was maybe on the promise that, oh, he's going to give us a better life. So sometimes I want to think that, yes, he was hoping that I was going to get a better life since I didn't have a mom and he was just burdened with raising us all by himself. So he thought that was some kind of relief for him. Maybe those were the things he was considering.
How many daughters did he have?
3 of us plus our late brother. So we're 4 from my mom before he remarried and had another 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was just trying to get you to better life. But was it a better life? Tell me about that.
It wasn't a better life in any way. I mean, we got married and less than a month after the marriage, the abuse started. He started beating me for no reason, at the drop of a hat.
But he let you go to school?
It wasn't that easy. I eventually struggled my way through school because I was really determined. And that's why I tell people, once you're determined, if you set your heart to do anything, you will do it. I remember I had to jump fences to go to school. I had to beg malams who sell sweets and kola nuts in the streets of GRA for 50 naira to take me from GRA to Unilag. So I had to do all of that. And I didn't have any hope of coming back. But I was sure that maybe somehow I'll find somebody who will drop me off at Antonio or Maryland and I'll trek to GRA. It was just sheer determination.
And you had kids?
Yeah, I had 2 boys. I was actually pregnant when I gained the admission. And he told me then, like, you can't go to school when you're pregnant. You have to choose one. So I told him I choose the school. And I was already like 7 months gone. So I'm sure he was a bit confused. Like, how am I going to take this baby out? Because I started school in October and in November I had the baby. In December I had the baby.
So eventually you graduated in his house. You started
eventually I finished school in his house. And when I got my job at Zenith Bank, the first job I got, major job, I did my youth service in a mortgage bank. I started that job October 2nd, and October 19, it hit me again, and I ran to my father's house. I didn't earn the first salary, but I was sure that with that job, I'll be able to make a life out of it.
So that's why you spend your life now trying to empower women.
Yes.
To get out of, like, if they had
they have something, because I understand that what kept me there for 11 years wasn't because I was just only timid. No, I grew up. Yes, I wasn't brought up. I tell people I wasn't brought up, I grew up. So after a while, I'd learned some hard lessons in life, after some hard knocks. So I knew that, okay, I have 2 boys now. Do I just run off? How will I look after them? There's a certain standard of living they're enjoying here. Can I keep up with it? And I knew that I needed a job. Yes, so I needed to plan. Besides, I also looked at it that you might not let me take my children. So what's the other option? I needed to wait for them to grow so that at least they know their mom, they know what she went through, so that I don't owe them any explanation later in life.
But you left the boys?
I left by myself because he never thought that I would ever stay away from the boys. So he felt, oh, I'll keep my boys, she will leave, then she'll come back and beg me. Then I left without the boys to show that, look, I'm serious about leaving. And then he brought the boys to dump in my dad's house, thinking, okay, so when you have the children, let me see how you cope. You all come back.
And you survived?
And I survived. Then he came and took the boys again. And then from there, we went to court, and eventually I have my boys now.
Well, you are determined, and I say in that determination to succeed and to get up in both of you. That means you made a choice to succeed.
I made a choice to succeed.
So I'll return with my psychologist, and let's draw the relationship between that and those who give up and run away from Nigeria. I don't know why you two didn't run away. We'll be right back on Seriously Speaking when the psychologist joins us. Don't go away. Well, the lovely Against All Odds story you heard from Mercy and Kola. I told Mercy she's going to write a book, so the full story will be there. Kola's full story is in the book, but the point is they chose to act on whatever it was that was negative that they could have easily run away from, which is a function of mind being over matter, something that my next guest keeps reminding me of because she's a psychologist. In a few months, she'll be a doctor, so I'm going to call you Dr. Chiadi, whether you like it or not. You know, but she's originally a lawyer who sent me a text saying, you know what, what's going to happen to all of these people they're bringing back home? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get you on the show. Let's talk about this. So why are you worried about that?
Quite frankly, because...
Did I say welcome? Sorry, welcome to the show. You guys say welcome to her.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you so much, Adesuwa. And thank you for believing and the hope. I join your hope, too. And I will be a doctor very soon. Thank you so much. Quite frankly, I know the effect of trauma. Because of my experience in the field and personal experience, I know there are conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder. So I know that those people, having been through that Libya experience, could never be the same again. And I wondered to myself, what are we going to do to help them to reintegrate? How are we going to help them heal those memories? How are they ever going to be able to feel as a part of this country after the things they've been through? It's because I look at wellness as holistic. A lot of things actually, like you say, and I always say, is mind over matter. And except the mind receives a thorough healing and a cleansing and a strengthening, the individual is not likely to
let me go to Kola on this. You know, fine, they need to be healed. Should we really pity people who've gone across when they could? I mean, did you have a choice? Could you have gone across, for example?
Yes, when, like I wrote in the book, when I had issues with my business and I was, heavily in debt.
You say, God, only me. I have a physical disability. Only
of course,
me.
As at that time, I had a physical disability.
You had your kids. You were
we
looking
didn't
for
have
a
any
child
until 7 years, you know. When the business thing happened, we had to move from a palace to a boys' quarters. There was no food, no clothes, no nothing. Yes, it came to me and said, it came to my turn and said, let's get out of this place. But
leave this country?
Yes, leave this country. Then I came back to myself. So where you are going, do you know what you're going to meet there? You're going empty-handed. What gives you the assurance that things are going to work out there? And thank God I had siblings. At least one of them was able to advise me and say, this is where the real thing is.
So in other words, that thing happens to most people. You want to leave. You say it is hope. But where did you get hope from? Because fine, you could easily have left, even if you didn't have money. You could have even walked the streets of Lagos or even tried to cross to Italy.
For me, it was basically because from when I was young, I had a vision of what I wanted to be. And that's why I feel it's very important to empower.
Who gave you that vision?
Okay, so I have a lot of people who inspire me. So I watch NTA back then. I see Sienna Orwell Brown, Razak Brown,
Razak Lawal at that time.
Razak Lawal eventually, and then I see Eugenia Abu, and much later I see Auntie Adesuwa, I see Auntie Fumi Yonda, I see Auntie Betty, and I'm like, these are great women. Not because they have all the money in the world, but because they're women who own their space and they know what they're doing. You can see when they're talking, you can see self-confidence. They really know what they're doing, they know their onions, and that's what I've always wanted to be. I wanted to be a woman other women look up to and feel inspired. So from when I was a teenager...
So you were not discouraged even by that?
No.
I remember you said you used to go to the office sometimes with sunglasses.
Yes, and all of that. So I wasn't discouraged, and that's why I insisted that I would go to school. I mean, after the marriage, everybody was like, you're married to a pilot, you have children, you live on 1 acre in GRA, what do you want to go to school for? I insisted, and it was a big fight. So it took us 3 years for him to allow me to go back to school after the wedding, and I still went. And it was a struggle for me to finish for 4 years in Unilag. You know, it was a huge struggle.
With the baby
with the children and
that.
everything, but I still insisted I wanted to get that education.
So I would like us to round up, but as I round up, I also think that we're also culpable. This is a function of the kind of values that we have. Just a few seconds.
When you say culpable as Nigerians,
yes, because that create a system that allows people to be running away and looking for money.
Quite frankly, today's world, unfortunately, success is measured by what you have. And money, I must say, is important, you know, especially in this environment. You need money to buy a generator. You need money for healthcare.
So
there's no national
you shouldn't blame
health.
them for looking for money.
I don't blame them at all for looking for money. What I think we should do is to explain to them that this option you're following is not necessarily a better option.
So we'll lead you
because of, yes, precisely, paint the proper picture for them. There are easier ways. It doesn't need to be this gruesome. You can come back. You have resilience. There is bounce back. There's an opportunity. There are people like Kola who picked up from literally nowhere and came right back.
So we should sell the message of hope.
We should sell the message.
And we should empower them. And by empowerment, I'm not saying handing out cash, but information, giving them information, education, letting them know the opportunities that exist in this land. That there's so much they can benefit from.
And we should write our stories.
Yeah, we'll write our stories.
Two of you, your own is coming.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So meanwhile, you're working with amazing women. Well done on your job. Thank you, Kola, for sharing this story. And thank you very much, Dr. Chiadi Ndu.
Thank you so
for being on
much.
Seriously Speaking. Yes, it's been interesting talking to these people. 30 minutes is never enough, but we must go. However, the story of the amazing Amazon, Mercy, or Kola, the security expert who has written his book, or even the psychologists who've made us understand that it's a function of mind over matter. I say, whatever it is you're going through, whether you are physically challenged or in a domestic abuse or whatever it is, you can come out of it and be the best that you can right here in this country. Then you'll be telling your story too. We're back on Seriously Speaking. Bye.